Hello and welcome to FPL Weekly. And how was my co-host this evening? Okay?
I'm in the 100 club.
You are in the 100 club. I'm not, which is very upsetting. Not in the 90 club either.
Sorry.
It's all right. You caught me on a good day. I mean, the last week. I've been.
We've been through every
Not
emotion.
even been cross. Yeah, I'm beyond cross. I'm just upset.
We've been in every emotion. So
Ches needs a medal. I've been a sulky little bitch, honestly. God.
Yeah. So let's kind of. I'll take the listeners and watchers, viewers through the timeline. So we recorded. This has obviously been double game week 26.
Five.
Sorry, 5. And we have, obviously we had two massive doubles with Haaland, with City and Liverpool, were the two big teams who were doubling, and they were two favourable fixtures, definitely. As I'm sure the avid 3 listeners will know that that my co-host Kingy took played his wildcard in game week 24, and the aim was to target these 4 game weeks: the favourable fixtures in 24, the double game week in 25, the blank game week in 26, and 27. That was the overall plan.
29, and blank 29.
And then obviously having the transfers in hand to prepare for 29. He was kind of forced into it with regards to a lot of injuries. In hindsight, we've kind of decided that he could have probably got through it with a couple of hits, but I don't know. I didn't mind the decision, and we did talk it through. And the reason why we ended up going down the route of it was because then it put us on 2 different strategies, and that worked out. Yeah. And then that kind of worked out quite well for our overall aim of winning a load of dough off a stupid TikToker. So, anyway,
if he pays out.
Yeah, he's going to pay out 100%. I will be going to Ofcom if he doesn't pay out. A lot of my mates are just like, he's not paying, mate. He is not paying. But he's not took the TikTok down. So
no, it's still up there. We screenshotted it.
Yeah, we've done it. I think I need to screen record it actually. I think that's
a great idea.
Yeah, let's screen record it. Anyway, so then fast forward this game week, you had a predicted points of.
I think it was 136.
136, yeah, I'm almost certain it was. You were banging on about it enough. And it was one triple captain Haaland, as well as everyone kind of triple captain this year, unless you'd gone early, has been a little bit null and void because everyone has used it in the same.
I think it was about 80 to 85%. But I think in the top 100k, it was probably more like 90 to 95.
I saw effective ownership in the top 10k. Yeah. In the top 10k was 270%, which basically means that out of the 3 options, which is own, captain, triple captain, is 270. So basically, if you own him,
we were 300. We were 300% owned. We're 300%. The EO was 270, with 30 more than expected.
Yeah.
So when he did well in the end, when he got his goal and he got his whatever, he could have got more, granted, and this lad was annoying. But when he got his goal and he got his 10 points, that helped a little bit. Not massively, but it helped a little bit. It just is comfort in terms of, the dead accounts that didn't play it, or the ones that are risking Solanke. At least there's a chance now that got something out of it, is what I'm saying. If it was a blank, it would have been a bit painful.
Yeah, definitely. But overall, the biggest cock up in your situation was all of the injuries to Liverpool, the amazing situation where De Bruyne was then injured, and didn't play in the second game, and
No, didn't even
then
come on. Like even at
didn't
0-0,
come
I
on.
was like, "Where's Kevin?"
Yeah.
0-0.
So like I'm
Yeah.
I'm more than happy
2
to say
points.
that
Kevin
I'm
De
more
Bruyne,
than
2
happy
points.
to say that you did get really unlucky this week. And look, I don't think that this is like, at least this wasn't a week where decisions have killed you. Like the Gabriel decisions, the decisions have been bad,
The
and they're
Arsenal
really,
defenders is annoying.
yeah, they're really hard to take. But
I think
like
you could. I
this
think
is
it's
just this is
everything's
just the
easy.
game. This is
Yeah,
just
I
the
agree.
game. This is
Yeah.
just the game, and double game weeks are a massive risk because we go into this game week, right? And we're going to get team news, and on that team news, we're going to find out how fit Kevin De Bruyne is. Okay,
Yeah.
we're going to gain that information on the
Yeah.
team on the thing. Okay,
Yeah.
if we went into that second Liverpool game with all of the information that we had from the press conference, we'd know Jota wasn't going, he was
Yeah.
injured. Curtis Jones wasn't going, he was injured. Trent was
Yeah.
still injured.
Yeah.
All of these other things. So the only thing that was a
Darwin.
surprise, to us from the press conference was Robbo didn't start. That's the only thing that we didn't know going into it. And that's the thing about double game weeks is you pick your team, and actually that second game is a little bit of a bonus, really. So even if you own Haaland, because he can get injured, he could get a yellow, he could get a red card, he could get something in that first game that could. And I'm not downplaying a double game week, because a double game week is an amazing thing. However, there is probably more risk involved that we don't talk about. So, for example, I think if we go into a single game week of where we've got assurances that Haaland is going to play at home against Burnley, that is a fine thing to triple captain moving forward next season.
Yeah.
I'd be more than happy to triple captain if he's in really good form, and rather than wait for a double game week, mainly because that double game week either could be rubbish or the second game might not even happen. And then you're left with a situation where you've triple captained him to Chelsea, which is a hard fixture, a lot harder than another game week would be. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
I think that there is.
I know what you're saying. I don't think we will triple captain in a single, but
No,
I
we won't.
understand exactly the point you're making.
We won't. But like
some will.
I think there is potentially more.
You know, let's say Sheffield United. Let's say Sheffield United at home and they've got 3 defenders injured. I mean, then you're thinking, okay.
Yeah, I think that we need to be a little bit more open-minded to it. The only thing that ultimately scares me is the 2 home games which he's had, 2, and we're in a position where the effective ownership is so high that look, people who'd already burnt their triple captain have won because Haaland only scored 1 goal. You know, those people have won. However, it's there's. I feel like there might be something more in it. Do you get what I just?
Yeah.
That's where I'm coming from. But anyway, you went through all the emotions.
Oh God, yeah.
Do you know what was really refreshing? I was listening to it today. You voice clipped me today, and you were kind of saying that, you know what? It's maybe not as bad as I thought. It's definitely not as bad. It just didn't turn out to be as good.
I think the bottom line is, as we talked about before, is the actual position is okay in terms of I got 87 points. The average was 73. So on the bare face of things, that's okay. And last week I got 72 when the average was 62. And on the bare face of things, that's okay. The issue is, as of right now, it's okay. I am. You're obviously winning, but I'm okay. I'm 147k. That's okay. The problem is,
you've used everything.
Discussed last time, I've used everything. So, yeah, apart from right here. But I needed, as we talked about, this decision in these few weeks to push me ahead big time, because now for the rest of the season, I'm obviously, it's very, very not impossible, but it's very unlikely, because now, I've got my blinkers on and you haven't, because you've got 3 chips left and I've got 1. So, like I say, on the face of it, it's bad, but I needed to take off and I haven't. So.
You've gone out on a horse race and you've gone out to the front. You needed to go out to the front, and you're barely in the lead.
Yeah, you're 43 points ahead of me, and you have a wild card and a bench boost.
Yeah.
What value would you put roughly on a wild card? 40, 50 points. What value would you put on a bench boost? 15. I'd give it 50-ish points, roughly. The rough top of my head guess. Chuck onto the 33, 80-ish, 80, 85-ish. Not impossible, but it's going to be hard.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, so I had 102. Mainly my points were in the end. In the end, a lot of my points came from single game week players. Saka. I mean, obviously, 30 from Haaland really does help. And Walker got a nice 12 points in the last one.
Yeah, but that's again, nice, I was a touch unlucky there in terms of, I'd heard De Bruyne wasn't starting, so I looked down the Walker route, and then we got news that Walker wasn't starting. So why on earth would I put someone in my wildcard that isn't starting? It makes no sense. So the fact that if you'd have said Walker scores 12 points, he doesn't start, but Walker scores 12 points and De Bruyne scores 2, you'd be like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
So,
and then Watkins. So that was really nice. I
can't moan about that, because he's the one player that I want that I don't have.
Yeah.
But I couldn't.
And
really.
you knew that going into this period without him was a bit of a risk.
Where I've been, again, it hasn't paid off too much, is the ones that I really wanted, the ones that could kill me, have hurt me. The Palmer 2 assists in injury time hurt my rank big time, as well as yours. And, the Watkins has killed me. The Gabriel, I think he's gone 12.6 points. It's killed me. But again, if I'm being honest, I'd say maybe, again, it's so easy in hindsight. But the only reason I didn't have Gabriel is because I don't think he's going to play in 29. But I've cost myself 18 points because he doesn't play in 29. Do you see what I mean?
See, the thing is you're saying there Palmer's killed me, but I actually got really unlucky with Jota, and he's ended up with more points in the last 2 weeks than Palmer would have done.
Yeah,
the
Darwin one was a bit more annoying than the Jota one. I think anyone that knows roughly what they're doing had Jota. And some, I even spoke to a couple of people that came in the pro shop. Some, they said, I've captained Jota. This was just before he got injured. And I was like, and then he got injured. I was like, oh. So some rogue people out there, he was a captain option. The Darwin one was a bit more annoying because he was a bit lower owned than Jota. And that was really frustrating because obviously it was annoying because it got off to a good start, didn't it? Jota assist, Nunes goal, and it was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
And there was a stat I read earlier today, and it was so frustrating about your XG and the shots you had against Luton. It was madness. Diaz had like 3 XG or something, and everyone's like, imagine if Darwin and Jota would have played. So, that was obviously extremely frustrating. De Bruyne was frustrating. Foden, I know a lot of people have him. You have him, granted, but he's still only, I think he's about 30% owned. He's got 5 points, and I'm sure you watched both the games. Holy moly. I mean, even against Foden, even in the last game, he's 32% owned. The last game, he could have had a hat-trick.
Yeah, and like he played really well as well. Like anyone who knows football and is watching Phil Foden at the moment, like so much is going through him. Like it's what he does receiving the ball on the back foot, and he lets players come to him and then just accelerates away, and he breaks lines so good. Like it is really, really, really good to watch. And I think
such a good player.
I think he'd be better without Haaland. Right, okay. And what I mean by that is that I think he'd break those lines and he'd play a 1-2 and he'd get the ball back, whereas he plays it to Haaland and Haaland shoots a lot of the time. Now, obviously, he's going to get a lot of assists there, but I think he'd get more goals because he would break through. But yeah. Anyway, look, I am not on the bandwagon of Man City are better without Haaland. I am not on that. But what I'm saying is that I think that he would end up with more goals. He wouldn't end up with more assists. But yeah. Anyway,
future plans. We need to talk strategy. And basically, where I'm at now, had a bit of a sulky week. Kind of was giving it the whole I've given up, and I haven't given up. And I'm content with it. I've how do I put it? I've accepted the fact that it's unlikely that I'm gonna do very well this season. So, because of our deal to win the league, where we're chopping the money, more of my attention focuses on helping you now. Like I say, wouldn't sound like in a condescending way of you need my help, but I want to try and kind of nudge you and give you a little bit of hint into trying to make sure you play the most faultless game possible. 2 minds are better than one. So
yeah, and I think that I am more of a podcast listener, and you're more of a YouTube watcher when it comes to consuming FPL content. So, like, I'm always listening to Let's Talk FPL, the Planet FPL with James. I'm always listening to Green Arrow, whereas you're watching a lot more of Focal stuff and a lot more of the stuff with Dan and those kind of things, and you know, so ultimately we've always helped one another. Like it's a friendly rivalry, this game between me and you.
Yeah. However, and where this year has been slightly different, obviously our focus is on this new league, whereas in previous years our focus has always been against each other, and now it's kind of a slightly different dynamic.
Yeah, but like equally, I would always honestly tell you what is in my opinion the best thing that
even last year.
Yeah. So because you know, I think you'd know if I was stitching you up anyway. So you know, and
Captain Phil Jones,
yeah, I'd know if I was like, you know, and if you tell me that something is happening, then I tend to either check it or I believe you. So like anyway, that's that. But yeah, I think it's more. Obviously, we're chopping the money and it's fine, but it's more about kind of running ideas past yourself. Like, so this week I'm going into the game week with a flat 11 players because I've got 3 Liverpool. Now, I've got 1 free transfer. However, the big important thing for us to know and understand is that we're going to gain so much more information between 26 and 27 than we are before 27 than before 26.
It's massive. Yeah, you're going to know you're going to really know almost everything in the next midweek.
Yeah. So
because not only are you going to know who plays in 29 for sure, you're also going to have a good idea of who's going to double and when as well.
Kind of. I think the blank is still going to be a percentage blank based on the ones who get through.
Yeah. But for example, if Chelsea miss 26 and 29, then they're going to have 2 extra fixtures, and we don't know exactly when those fixtures are going to be. But that just
means
Palmer back in.
But that means you're just going to get Palmer back in on a wild card afterwards. It just and.
But that's the thing with me. Without a wild card, I'll be bringing him back in, but I have to factor him into my plans. Whereas you could just wild card him back in.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So my plans this week, I am massively based upon team news that we're going to obtain, and it's kind of about trying to do the right things at the right time. So I'm almost I'm not almost certain. I am certain that barring an injury, I'm going from Darwin to Solanke because of the game week 28 double, and also it frees up cash because I've got Watkins and I have Haaland. So therefore, my third attacker probably shouldn't be around that 8 million mark. It's a lot of cash up front. So Solanke up front makes sense. Then really it should be Jota to a Son or a Salah, one of them two, for another premium midfielder.
Again, things change, mate, because again, you'll have more info by then. So I don't know. Let's say there's an apps. I don't know. Let's say there's Newcastle play from nowhere.
Do you know
Newcastle play at home against Crystal Palace. You're looking at Gordon. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So things change.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe,
but I'm not.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? Like things change. At the moment, it's on.
Do you know the one?
United
the one
might
thing?
Get a fixture and you might go, "Oh, Bruno." I don't know.
Do you know the one thing that I've thought about? When I've been talking to you about price changes and all that kind of stuff. So Jota's injured. He's red flagged.
Yeah.
So on the basis that the information that we got and the reason why Haaland didn't go down as much was because he was red flagged and injured, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the Haaland thing is funny. It's weird.
No. So FPL needs to stay true to their word and they will not do price decreases because of an injury.
Yeah.
Because an injury means everyone gets rid now, yeah?
Yeah.
So therefore his price should plummet, should absolutely fall off a cliff. But it shouldn't if they're going to stick to the rules that they did with Haaland, where they didn't decrease the price unless they knew they fucked up with regards to the price at the start of the season.
Yeah.
Where they priced him at 14 million and it didn't put anyone off. His effective ownership, he was 85% owned going into the first game of the season. So really they should have had him at 15 million.
Yeah. No, it's 14.4. It's madness. 14.
Yeah, no, but do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So really, I don't think that I need to be so panicked with regards to looking to protect the price of Jota because it should actually be protected by FPL. So really, and the reason why I'm saying that is Jota going last would be really good for me if I can get rid of Robbo and Solanke first. Robbo will go down to a cheap defender who's playing in 29.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever that is, I don't really care. Whoever's got good fixture,
you'll find out.
Whoever's got a good fixture, I'm playing in 29. That's what Robbo's going to be. Solanke, we know, has a double in 28, and he's going to play in 29. That's right, isn't it?
No, he's not. We're not sure about 29 for Solanke. We're not sure. Okay. He's unlikely to play in 29. I think it's Leicester. Something to do with Leicester.
Okay.
Bournemouth have got Leicester, haven't they? So Leicester would have to beat Bournemouth, which is possible but unlikely.
Yeah. Okay.
But the way to look at it is he's got a double in 28, which is the same as having a fixture in 28 and a fixture in 29.
Yeah.
And a chance of playing in 29. And actually, the interesting thing about Solanke is not only does he double in 28 and he has a chance in 29, 30, Everton at home, 31, Palace at home. 32, Luton away. So based on me, you're dead ending, probably. I'm not. I'm looking at Solanke and I'm going, not only is he good for 27, he's doubling in 28. He might play in 29, 30, 31 and 32. He's amazing. The only issue I have is it's a lot of game weeks without Watkins. I have to keep Tony because the reason I got him in was 29. And Haaland's not going anywhere.
I mean, and that's the thing is,
I can't own Watkins till 30 at the bare minimum.
I'm just looking at it now, and they've got a 15% chance of playing in 29.
Very, very unlikely because it's
Wolves.
Yes, it's Wolves and it's Leicester. The Leicester result. So I think Wolves would have to lose to us, and Bournemouth would have to lose to Leicester.
Yeah. Which I suppose does give a problem, because then because City are not City are going to blank. And
very likely. But you're going to have. This comes
Watkins.
in perfectly. This comes in perfectly onto my next point. It's something to consider. Have you got your 11? Get your 11 out. Try and dig your 11 out, right?
What for 429?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just go through my current one. So Areola or Dubravka.
Fine, great.
Areola's got a fixture, right?
He's got Brentford at home and he plays in 29.
Yeah. Then Brentford, I've got Reguilon, who definitely plays.
That's fine. West Ham are in the mud at the moment. That's fine.
Yeah. Walker, who won't play. Saliba, Arsenal.
We'll know about Walker. We should know about Walker.
What do you mean?
Oh, he's blanking, of course. Hang on. No, he's not blanking. No, Walker should play.
What do you mean? City are 7% chance of playing in 29.
No, we're talking about your team for 26.
Oh, a team for 26. Yeah. I don't know what.
Yeah. The point I'm trying to make is going through your team for 26.
Yeah.
If we know that Purvis is definitely starting, I would strongly consider rolling. That's the point I was trying to make.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. God, yeah.
Because Reguilon's got West Ham away next week.
Yeah,
no. He's got Burnley.
Sorry. My team this week is Areola at home to Brentford.
Good.
Reguilon away to West Ham, which we think he's going to start, definitely.
Yeah.
Walker away at Bournemouth. I think he should start, really.
Yeah.
Saliba at home to Newcastle. Purvis at home to Everton.
That's the maybe. We'll come back there.
That's the maybe. Saka at home to Newcastle.
Great.
Foden away at Bournemouth.
Great.
Garnacho at home to Fulham.
Great. Nailed.
Bowen at home to Brentford. Nailed.
Fine. He's nailed. Yeah.
Haaland, who will be the captain, away at Bournemouth. And Watkins at home to Forest.
So what I'm saying is, we're 3:00 kickoff. So now I don't know if we're going to get Brighton news, because I don't actually know if there's anyone in the kind of an in the know Brighton team leaker. I don't know, but let's say theoretically we get news that Purvis starts. You've got a big decision to make. I think if I knew Purvis was starting, I would probably roll.
Oh no, I'm almost certain I will do, because those 0.1s that I might lose is more valuable in information.
Yeah. So if he doesn't, if we don't hear any news, then it's a tough one.
I think I'm going to go. I think I'm still going to roll though, because of, even if he comes on for a point, then even when he's been benched, he's come on, and when he came on, he scored.
I know you're going to want to get Solanke in, and I know you're going to want to get Darwin out, and that's why I don't dislike the move. But the information we're going to gain is just so huge.
I just can't see Solanke doing anything
against City. Yeah,
anything. Yeah. He touched. Who was the game week? Who was he against? And he touched the ball like 5 times.
He had a bad game. Was it you guys?
I think it was us. Was it us?
Yeah, I think it was you.
Was it us?
Because he was good against Newcastle. It was the game week before Newcastle.
Yeah, it was.
He did really well against Newcastle. Fulham. Fulham away, he got an assist, but he did nothing. And the week before, it was Forest at home. Nothing. He blanked against Forest at home in 23.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that. It was against a big team. Wasn't
West Ham away in 22. I think it's Fulham.
No, it was Liverpool at home. And we played them. Bournemouth were at home. He honestly touched the ball like, the stat was ridiculous, like absolutely ridiculous. Like, he touched the ball like 6 times and 3 of them were for kickoffs. Like he against big teams, Bournemouth are struggling a bit. So I just can't see City giving. I don't know whether they're going to batter Bournemouth, but I just can't see them. They might, I envisage it being a 3-0, but I just can't see Solanke doing anything.
Yeah, if you don't think he's going to do anything, then just wait. Yeah.
So then,
just wait.
I think that 1 point for Purvis off the bench is better than. I think it's more the information is more important for people like Walker, for people like, and then if Walker's not going to play, then bringing in Solanke,
then you've got to do it. Yeah,
I've got to do it then. Yeah. So
I think I'd go as far to say that if Purvis was starting, I'd roll, and if he wasn't starting, I'd do it. I think that's how important that is. Just because if he wasn't starting, you've got 10. When you have a free transfer in the bank, a transfer that you're going to do anyway, and it's free, and you gain 2 points from it, rather than playing 10, then I would do it. So I literally think that Purvis starting is the absolute difference between you doing that or not doing it. / like you mentioned, another one not starting. Let's say we get shock news that Foden doesn't play, then you got to do Solanke, or Walker doesn't play, you got to do Solanke. Because if we get news that one of your 11 doesn't play, then you got to do it. But if it's looking like all your 11 are going to play, then I would roll. So it's a tough one, but it does based on information. Hence wait. And for obviously, if we haven't mentioned it already, the deadline's 1:30 on Saturday. Part of the reason we do this stream is to try and help people, and don't get used to that 11 o'clock stream, because this week is 1:30. Because there's no early kickoff. The first game is at 3 o'clock, and the deadline is always an hour and a half for the first game. So what we're saying really is there's 4 games at 3 o'clock, and there's a 5:30, which is Man City, and our Man City. The Twitter community, Man City contacts for team leagues is the best, I'd say, of any team. Yeah, it's unreal.
The reason why it's
you've got Main Road.
The reason why it's the best is because it needs to be, because he is so ridiculous.
Whereas we haven't needed early Brighton team news, and a lot of teams still don't. So that's why I'm concerned we may or may not get it. The good news is it is at 3 o'clock. So we've got Villa Forest 3 o'clock, Brighton Everton 3 o'clock, Palace Burnley 3 o'clock, United Fulham 3 o'clock. We'll get dribs and drabs, I think, of a lot of that, and we should get quite a bit of City. The City's 5:30.
Yeah. One thing that I wanted to mention to everyone is obviously Luke Shaw has been ruled out for a long term. Malacia is AWOL. No one's heard from him. Well, have you heard or seen any pictures of him, or
what has happened? Has he been in squads, on the benches? Is he injured? What's happened?
He's injured. Yeah.
Okay.
But like.
Yeah. They've been disciplined on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Dalot
right back. Wan-Bissaka's injured.
Christ, who plays left back?
It's going to be Lindelof.
Okay.
Yeah. So Lindelof will play left back.
That makes United defensively weaker as well.
Very weak.
With Martinez out as well.
Yeah, the meat cleaver's out. He's injured as well. So Johnny Evans and
I can't believe he's still playing.
For Man United.
He wasn't getting a game at Leicester. It was bad.
I know. Johnny Evans and
Maguire.
By the way, great pro. Like let's just not knock those situations. Of course.
Yeah, I know a lot. He's had a
great
pro. Absolutely. Great egg. Yeah, for sure.
Whether
great egg. People forget he was class. In the Fergie era, Fergie relied on him a lot. Fergie really liked him.
Yeah.
He was very good in his pomp.
But ultimately,
he's an old man.
He was sold by Fergie because he had limited ability, and he's paved a career at places like Leicester, West Brom, because that's really his level.
Yeah, and absolutely. They've got him in his emergency cover, and now they've had to play him.
No. Whoa. he was brought in to honour the situation that Man United do, which is if you're without a club and you were an academy product of Man United, you can always come and train at Man United. If you
train.
No. And that's what he did.
Not get thrust into the first team.
He came in for training purposes. And they were in a situation
and they
where...
thought, oh shit, we need a body, basically.
So they signed him on a 1-year contract.
Yeah.
So he won the lottery. Look, so that's definitely something for us to watch out for. Whether it means that we can cheaply, if they're going to play in 29, get into the Man United defence. I don't dislike it, but then equally I don't massively like it. But defense, someone like Dalot is a good, a person because ultimately he's nailed. He's going to play.
And if they do play Lindelof at left back, they might give Dalot a bit more roam to say, off you go.
Yeah. And all in all, I think both of us are pretty nailed on the fact that it's a little bit of a watch and wait week. Not going to do anything too crazy. We're going to try our best to get 11 players out. And final thoughts is just a message out there for Niall.
You're in the mud, pal.
Well, you're in the mud.
And you're in the mud next week as well.
And we're still waiting for you to hit us up on FPL Weekly.
You're in the mud next week
on Twitter. FPL Weekly.
I think you're just gonna pull away, mate. I think you're just gonna pull away. If I'm honest.
See ya. Get used to this. Get used to this.
Imagine if you pulled like 80 points clear at GTF. It would be so good. The thing is as well, really quickly on what I'm planning this week as well. So you're 43 points ahead of me. You're actually 47 points ahead of me because I'm taking a hit.
Mm-hmm.
So long story short, I had Diego Carlos. I had my reasons. It was a good move. Andy even said on his pod it was a good move. But he got injured. So the problem is, you could argue again in hindsight that it's unlucky, but I took a risk because my plan involved no injuries. And as soon as I got an injury, then I would have had to take a hit. So Carlos got injured, so I now have to take a hit to get 11. And I feel like it's worth it because, like I say, that 4-point hit is negated by the fact you've got a player playing. It's kind of a 2-point hit. So it's a bit like a cheap pit stop. So I'll be doing, it looks to me like I'm going to be doing, I've done Diego Carlos to Region already, actually, just to try and beat the price rise. It's going to be Virgil, who's got 2 blanks coming up, to Pau Torres, just because he's nailed and he's good in 26 and he's good in 29. I think he's got Luton in one of the games in between. Mm-hmm. And the other one that makes sense for me is, like a lot of people are going to do, is Darwin to Solanke. I could do Jota for a midfielder, but I want to keep my midfielder.
I think just keep your options open. Yeah, keep your options open
until we know who plays in 29. So I think that's where I'm at. If it comes out and we get news on Saturday, De Bruyne definitely doesn't start, then I'm strongly considering a -8.
Yeah, I think that's
strongly fair. Because again, it's a -8, but it's an extra 4 for an extra 2 of someone I know is playing. So it's a tough one. But the problem with De Bruyne, again, if he doesn't start, you're then looking at a player that's world class, but a player that's not anywhere near nailed for a decent amount of money. Who looks, and my gut feeling is he might play, but my gut feeling is he's going to get managed all season.
Big time.
Champions League, etc.
Right. Perfect. Let's wrap it up.
Yep.
Good luck.
Good luck, everyone. See you next time.
Hope you have a good one. Catch you in a bit. Bye.